everyone, my name is Erica Villa, and today I'll be sharing with you my presentation about fantasy coffins, a Ghanaian end-of-life tradition. I'd like to begin by talking about the tradition's origins and purpose. The tradition of fantasy coffins comes from Ghana, specifically the southern Accra region, and is practiced by the Ga community. It began in the late 1950s and is still practiced today. The purpose of these coffins is to honor ancestors and keep their memory alive, reflecting the Ga community's belief in the afterlife. Now that we looked at their origins and purpose, I will explain what fantasy coffins are. Fantasy coffins are custom-made coffins crafted by Ghanaian carpenters from wood, showcasing highly artistic craftsmanship. The time of completion can take 2 weeks or more, depending on the design and shape. These coffins are unique because they represent the deceased person's personality, profession, status, and aspirations. These examples I provided show a fish, an eagle, and a car. For instance, if the person who passed away was a fisherman, a request of carving a fish is completed or done. Or if they were a taxi driver, they'd carve a car. It really depends on each person. Moving on, we'll examine the funeral process. Before the funeral, a custom coffin is ordered and the family begins planning and organizing all the funeral arrangements. Banners are created and displayed publicly to invite the community to the ceremony. The body is also prepared through the embalming process. In terms of attire and expectations, guests typically wear black and white, while close family members wear red and black. Guests and family members are also expected to bring in an offering as part of the tradition. The typical offering they'd bring would be money or food, but it varies. During the funeral, pallbearers carry the coffin into the ceremony. At times, they'd perform a dance while doing so. Family members and loved ones then share words of gratitude and final goodbyes. Afterward, the ceremonial rituals begin, with guests and family dancing, praying, feasting, socializing, and playing music. The funeral concludes as the pallbearers carry the coffin to the burial site. Next, I'll explain how this tradition connects to the concepts we've learned in class. According to the textbook, Chapter 9, commemoration is the act of remembering, honoring, or showing respect to a person or event. It explains that acts of commemoration include ceremonies, works of art, and the creation of meaningful objects. This is clearly demonstrated in the tradition of fantasy coffins, as the coffins are viewed as works of art and as creations with deep sentimental value. The textbook also notes on Chapter 3 that cultural rituals, ceremonies, and practices are shared social activities that express a community's values and norms. In the Ga community, these rituals include ceremonies filled with drumming, praying, feasting, dancing, and socializing. These practices reflect the community's belief about honoring the deceased and celebrating their memory. Lastly, Chapter 4 discusses burial as a method of body disposal, typically involving a wood or metal casket placed in a burial plot. In Ghana, especially in the Ga community, burial is considered the traditional and preferred method of body disposal. This is clearly seen at the end of their funeral ceremonies when the coffin is carried to the burial site and is placed in the grave. To conclude my presentation, I'll share what I personally find beautiful and meaningful about this tradition. I admire the creativity in the designs, the vibrant use of color, the unique and personalized craftsmanship, and the meaningful representation and artistic tribute to the person's life. Overall, I really enjoyed learning about this tradition, and I hope you did as well.